6 cylinders, endless power, unstoppable reliability. These Japanese inline-sixes didn't just power cars, they built legends. Which one truly defines Japanese inline-sixes that don't quit? Number 1. Toyota 1HDT 4.2-liter diesel. Some engines refuse to die, and the Toyota 1HD is proof. This 4.2-liter inline-six turbo diesel is built like a tank, delivering brutal low-end torque and unmatched reliability. It was designed for the toughest conditions, hauling heavy loads, crawling over rocks, and tackling deep mud without hesitation. When Toyota engineered this beast for the Land Cruiser 80 series, they weren't just building an engine, they were creating a legend. With 164 horsepower and 361 Newton-meters of torque, the 1HD doesn't need to scream at high RPMs to get things moving. That torque hits hard, right where it matters, making it perfect for off-road warriors and heavy-duty haulers. It's no surprise these engines are still running strong decades after they left the factory. Durability off the charts. A cast iron block, a bore of 94 mm, and a 100 mm stroke give this inline-six a displacement of 4,164 cc. The single overhead camshaft setup keeps things simple but effective. And Toyota's CT26 turbocharger ensures steady power delivery. With basic maintenance, these engines easily push past 500,000 kilometers, and some have even doubled that. For a diesel this size, it sips rather than gulps. 14.1 liters per 100 kilometers in the city, 9.3 on the highway, and an average of 11.1 in mixed driving. That means you can cross deserts or tow a trailer for miles without worrying about refueling every few hours. For those chasing even more power, simple upgrades unlock serious performance. Dyno tuning alone can push the 1.8 to 200 horsepower and 500 Newton-meters of torque. A bigger turbo and an intercooler turn this diesel workhorse into a true powerhouse, but keeping reliability intact is key. The 1HDT may be an old-school diesel, but demand hasn't faded. Land Cruiser fans still hunt for them, and the used market reflects their value. Some prefer the 1HD FTE, a newer version with electronic fuel injection and a 24-valve head, but the 1HD remains a favorite for those who want mechanical simplicity and bulletproof dependability. Number 2. Toyota 1FZ FE 4.5-liter gasoline. If the 1HDT is the king of diesel, the 1FZ FE is its gasoline counterpart, another inline-six built to withstand abuse and never back down. Introduced in 1991, this 4.5-liter naturally aspirated beast found its way into the Land Cruiser FZJ80, giving drivers a smooth, reliable engine that could handle anything. No turbos, no fancy electronics, just a solid power plant that keeps going no matter what. With 212 horsepower at 4,600 RPM and 275 pound-foot of torque at 3,200 RPM, the 1FZ FE isn't the most powerful six-cylinder Toyota ever made, but that wasn't the goal. This engine was designed for endurance, delivering consistent power over long distances. A high compression ratio of 9.5 to 1 helped with efficiency, and a robust iron block ensured it could handle extreme conditions. The engine featured an aluminum cylinder head, a short skirt block stiffened with an aluminum oil pan, and a 4-valve DOHC system with scissors gears between the camshafts. These design choices reduced weight while maintaining rigidity, making the 1FZ FE smooth and quiet while also being nearly indestructible. Unlike the diesel-powered Land Cruisers, the 1FZ FE models came with a choice of two highly reliable transmissions, the A340E 4-speed automatic and the R150F 5-speed manual. Both were built to last, with the manual transmission especially favored by off-roaders who needed precise control. Longevity is where this engine truly shines. With proper care, 1FZ FEs routinely surpass 300,000 miles. Some even reaching 500,000 miles without breaking a sweat. Unlike many engines that rely on timing belts, the 1FZ FE used a timing chain, eliminating the need for periodic replacements and reducing failure points. Today, the 1FZ FE remains one of the most respected inline-sixes in Toyota's history, and Land Cruiser enthusiasts continue to swear by its reliability. Number 3. Nissan RB26DETT 2.6-liter twin-turbo. If one engine defines the golden age of Japanese performance cars, it's the RB26 RB26DETT. This twin-turbocharged 2.6-liter inline-six didn't just power the legendary Nissan Skyline GTR. It changed the game entirely. From 1989 to 2002, this engine turned the R32, R33, and R34 GTRs into icons, earning the nickname Godzilla for their dominance on and off the track. Nissan developed the RB engine family in the mid-1980s, focusing on response balance, which prioritized smooth power delivery and high revving capability. The RB26DETT took that formula to the extreme. It featured a cast iron block, an aluminum head, and a dual overhead camshaft design that allowed it to breathe at high RPMs. The numbers on paper may have been modest, 276 horsepower, due to a Japanese manufacturer's agreement, but the reality was different. Many RB26-equipped Skylines made well over 300 horsepower from the factory, and tuners quickly discovered that these engines could handle 600, 800, and even 1,000 horsepower with the right upgrades. Power delivery was razor sharp thanks to two small ceramic turbochargers working in parallel. Unlike single turbo setups, which often suffer from lag, the RB26DETT's twin turbos provided quick response throughout the rev range. Electronic fuel injection and a high-flow intake manifold kept air moving efficiently, while a beefy bottom end ensured the engine could take serious punishment. Each GTR generation refined the RB26. The R32 introduced it in 1989, shocking the world with its all-wheel drive grip and relentless acceleration. The R33 refined the formula, and the R34 perfected it with ball-bearing turbos, an advanced dual-mass flywheel, and even sharper response. What makes the RB26D truly special is its tuning potential. The aftermarket support is enormous, and these engines have been pushed to ridiculous limits. Whether it's drag racing, drifting, or track use, the RB26 is a platform that refuses to quit. Swap in bigger turbos, reinforce the internals, and suddenly a factory-rated 276 HP engine is making 4 times that amount. Even today, the RB26 remains one of the most celebrated Japanese engines ever made. R34 GTRs command 6-figure prices, and the RB26 itself is still a sought-after swap for builds worldwide. Number 4. Toyota 2JZ GT 3.0-liter turbo. Then there's the 2JZ GTE, a straight 6 so overbuilt that it became the gold standard for tuning legends. Developed in the early 90s for the Toyota Supra Turbo, this 3.0-liter twin-turbocharged beast could take an absolute beating and still ask for more. Factory rated at 320 horsepower and 315 pound-foot of torque, the numbers barely tell the real story. This thing was built to make stupid amounts of power with almost no effort. The secret? A cast iron block that refuses to crack, a forged crankshaft that shrugs off abuse, and oil squirters under the pistons to keep things cool when the revs climb. 7 massive main caps keep the crank locked in place, while the square bore and stroke design, 86 by 86 millimeters, ensures smooth high RPM operation. Toyota also added a non-interference valve train, meaning even a snapped timing belt won't grenade the engine. And that's just the stock setup. With basic bolt-ons, think bigger injectors, a front-mount intercooler, and a standalone ECU, the 2JZ GT wakes up to 500 horsepower. Swap out the tiny factory turbos for a big single, now you're playing in the 800-plus horsepower league. Built engines regularly push past 1,000 horsepower, and with the right tuning, 2,000 isn't unheard of. The best part? The bottom end can handle over 700 horsepower before needing reinforcement. That's how overbuilt this thing is. Turbocharging was another stroke of brilliance. Toyota paired 2 sequential Hitachi turbos designed to eliminate lag. One spools up to 1,800 RPM, delivering power early, while the second kicks in at 4,000 RPM to keep the boost party going. This means smooth power delivery without the massive lag found in other older turbo setups. Even today, the 2JZ GT remains one of the most sought-after engines ever made. Number 5. Mazda 3.3-liter inline-six diesel. Diesel engines are built for torque, longevity, and efficiency. But Mazda took things a step further with its 3.3-liter Skyactiv inline-six, proving that diesel power can be smooth, refined, and brutally strong. With 228 horsepower and a massive 500 Nm, 369 pound-foot of torque, at just 1,500 RPM, this engine moves heavy SUVs effortlessly while sipping fuel like a much smaller power plant. They also introduced an upgraded version with a mild hybrid system, bumping output to 251 horsepower and a staggering 550 Nm of torque. That's enough to haul serious weight without breaking a sweat. Paired with an 8-speed automatic and available all-wheel drive, this engine makes the Mazda CX-60 a powerhouse in disguise. Mazda designed this engine for real-world usability. Peak torque arrives early and holds strong, making acceleration effortless. The diesel setup means highway cruising is ridiculously efficient, while the rear-wheel drive platform ensures a driving experience that's more BMW than traditional Mazda. Even with the weight of a full-size SUV, 0 to 100 km an hour takes just 7.3 seconds, proving that diesel doesn't have to mean slow. What really makes this engine special is its balance. Mazda engineers focused on a smooth power delivery, refining the inline-six layout to eliminate unnecessary vibration. They even tuned the mild hybrid version to provide extra electric boost at low speeds, making the transition between idle and acceleration seamless. This is the future of diesel. While other automakers are moving away from it, Mazda is perfecting it. Number 6. Toyota Yamaha 2.0-liter inline-six. Some engines change the game, and the Toyota Yamaha 2.0-liter inline-six did exactly that. Born in the 1960s for the legendary Toyota 2000 GT, this wasn't just another engine, it was a statement. A high-revving double overhead cam masterpiece that put Toyota on the map as a serious performance contender. At 148 horsepower and 6,600 RPM, it might not seem like a monster by today's standards, but in 1966, that was Ferrari-level power. Toyota partnered with Yamaha, who developed the DOHC cylinder head, a dry sump lubrication system, and hemispherical combustion chambers to maximize airflow and efficiency. The result was a naturally aspirated inline-six that loved to rev and delivered smooth, predictable power across the entire RPM range. What really made this engine special was its balance. The wide 79-degree camshaft angle allowed for optimal valve timing, ensuring that airflow was as efficient as possible. 3 2-barrel Mikuni Solex carburetors fed the beast, delivering instant throttle response and a sound that turned heads wherever it went. The dry sump lubrication system kept everything cool under hard cornering, preventing oil starvation at high speeds. Toyota only built around 350 of these engines, making them extremely rare, but that didn't stop the 2000 GT from proving itself. In 1967, it dominated the Fuji 1,000 km race. The same year, it set several FIA speed and endurance records in a grueling 72-hour test. And in 1968, Carroll Shelby entered 3 2000 GTs in SCAA racing, cementing its place in motorsport history. The engine wasn't just about numbers, it was about proving what Toyota and Japan could do. The 2000 GT took on the best from Europe and held its own, showing that Japanese engineering was a force to be reckoned with. Today, this engine remains a symbol of innovation, craftsmanship, and performance. The world of inline-six engines is packed with legends, and these 6 are proof that Japan doesn't mess around.